Hey guys, Anthony the Rag Company, and in today's video, we might be in over our head. All right, so we are here with Mr. Tavarish. Freddy, what's up, dude?
How are you?
What's going on? What are we doing?
We're not doing much other than restoring, completely restoring, by the way, a 2001 Porsche 996 Turbo that had been sitting for 4 years.
Yep, and we're doing this as a speed detail, is that correct?
Yes, so I wanted to take this project on as a 24-hour challenge, 24 hours of work time, and we took the engine out and did a bunch of stuff. And the last part, the easy part, I'll leave to you, by the way, is the detailing. Because that's, you know, making the car clean, that doesn't take any time at all.
No, literally I can snap my finger.
Yeah.
Oh.
It doesn't work like that, does it?
Working anymore.
No.
It used to back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so yeah, this is actually going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a tremendous amount of work.
For you.
But you know what? My shoulders are feeling good. My legs are feeling good.
Good.
And
You didn't skip leg day. You got some.
Thank you for noticing.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and try to transform this to the best of our abilities. We brought a ton of different detailing supplies here. We're gonna try to use as many as we can. We have some awesome Gtechniq goodies. We have a bunch of accessories. We have premium microfiber products, and we're gonna see what we can do. So wish us luck. The first step is washing. Now, unlike the last time we visited Tavarish, we actually brought quite a few supplies with us. Everything from pearl weave towels to cyclone wash mitts, Eagle Edgeless, 1500 drying towels, Rip-N Rags, Gtechniq chemicals, Gtechniq chemicals, lots of different polishing pads, and I even brought a polisher in my checked bag. Pretty much everything we needed to get this job done in a short amount of time. Now, our job started midday while the car was still technically on the lift, so we pulled the wheels off and jumped straight into the wheel cleaning. Now, these wheels were absolutely hammered and extremely pitted, so there was really only so much we could do, but we were pretty surprised that Gtechniq's iron and fault remover was able to do a lot of the heavy hitting. From there, we followed up with some Green Star from Gtechniq with a lot of different brushes and began agitating. Now, you'll notice that for the barrels themselves, I actually used a tire brush, and while that may seem overly aggressive, it was actually the only brush I had in my arsenal that was able to clean up a lot of the pitting and a lot of the hardware. Now on the face of the wheel, it was more Green Star, and I used the Detail Factory screwball brush to get into the nooks and crannies, and believe it or not, these wheels turned out pretty good. Hours later, it was finally our time to shine. Literally, however, this Porsche wasn't in a running state, so after the engine was put back in and the wheels were cleaned, we lowered it and we actually had to push it outside into the outdoor wash bay. So the first thing I had to do was bust out the pressure washer and begin rinsing a lot of this dust off. This stuff was extremely caked on, and the one thing I had to note was not to overly soak the engine, as everything was just put back together and not quite plugged in all the way, because this was starting to be a bit of a rush job. So to be honest, this was one of my quickest washes I think I've ever done on camera. I think we had the whole wash done in just a matter of minutes, but I was able to pre-spray the car with some citrus all-purpose cleaner. I used a little bit more fault remover as needed, and then began rinsing more. Now for the foam wash itself, I busted out the citrus foam from Gtechniq, and this is gonna be the go-to foam for a car that's this filthy and this dirty, regardless of the other decontamination steps I took. So we went ahead and foamed the entire vehicle and let that soak for another period of time. And then following that, we began the rinsing process. Now with the car rinsed, we added yet another layer of foam, this time using Gtechniq's GFX because we wanted the guys to smell what Christmas smelled like in February. And then we put a little bit of G-Wash in the bucket itself, added our Cyclone wash mitts, frothed up the bucket, and we began hand washing from top to bottom. Now surprisingly, this went pretty quick. A lot of the dust had been rinsed off during the pre-steps here, so really I was just removing anything that was still stuck on the surface. Now going over everything with the Cyclone mitts, one thing thing I did notice was how contaminated this paint was. There was tons of overspray and there was lots of little nibs from tree sap and everything else in between, so that was something that we would have to take care of in the claying step. Now, I was able to use the Ultra utility brush to get into other nooks and crannies on the grill and get into other tight areas that I couldn't get into with the wash mitt. Now, after yet another rinse, we went ahead, grabbed all of our muscle, and we pushed the car back into the shop. And you'll notice that the car was still wet because, again, this is a speed detail and I'm trying to save time wherever I can. So leaving the car wet, I went back over the car once more with absolute rinseless wash, diluted at 128:1, and used the Ultra Clay Scrubber to go ahead and clay the surface. Like I mentioned before, there's tons of overspray and sap and everything in between, but the clay scrubber was actually able to do a significant job here in removing all of that, getting it to about 90% smooth and ready for the drying step with the Rag Company's 1500 drying towel. Now let's be real here. You've made it through half this video and you like what you're seeing and you want to see more, then do us a quick favor and make sure to hit that subscribe button and even toss us a like because it costs you nothing and it helps us out a ton. Now, back to the video. Now with the vehicle dry and having the car chemically decontaminated, mechanically decontaminated, and ready for polishing, I was able to do a quick test spot regardless of the time crunch. I told the guys, just let me do this because I have to see what this 50/50 will look like. So using the last cut compound and the Rupa's yellow wool pad, I went through and I was able to knock down a ton of the defects with just a few passes. All the guys were super impressed with the final result, and I thought, well, let's go ahead and throw some polish on there and see if we can make this any better. Now for the polishing step, I used Optimum Hyper Polish and a yellow foam pad from Rupa's. To be honest, the TLC and Hyper Polish is my go-to combo and has never let me down. Now the Hyper Polish and the foam pad was able to pull out any of the micro marring that the wool pad put in, and you'll see the 50/50 here, and the results are pretty dang good for this being a speed detail. Now, while I was hard at work doing the polishing steps, Rex was actually helping me remove some of the PPF on the front end of the car. This PPF was old and haggard, yet we could only remove so much because, again, we were on a time crunch. So I continued to polish, and after I was done with my polishing step, I actually pulled in some of the boys to help me with some of the compound removal, and based on what you're seeing here, they weren't the best at wiping, but that's okay because, you know, everybody can use a little bit of improvement, and that's something we'll probably cover in a future video. Now with Dane in the mix too, this was truly an all hands on deck thing, so I moved on to the rear spoiler where the carbon had started to oxidize. So after a few passes with the wool pad and wiping off the compound, this thing looks significantly better. All right, so you're probably wondering how things are going. A lot of work is getting done, but not a lot of talking. And that's because we are absolutely rushing this job. We're trying not to, but this thing has to be finished in 24 hours and Freddy's staying true to his words. So this thing needs to leave in probably less than an hour. So right now we've got this whole side of the car polished. We two-stepped it. We're not going for full correction here, but this thing is cleaning up extremely nice. The last cut paired with the yellow wool pad from Rupa's, love it, man. It's just absolutely amazing. So then I followed up that with the Rupa's yellow foam and Optimum Hyper Polish, a classic, an oldie but a goodie. And that was able to really basically remove any type of micro marring done by the wool pad itself and really bring out that extra gloss. And this side of the car, I mean, it looks good. And I'm also kind of spoiled because I was using that new Merca that we either stole from Matt at Obsessed Garage or borrowed. I'm not really sure how it ended up here, but I got to use that on here as well, and that machine, love it. Really, really nice. So, so far so good. I'm using the pearls to wipe off all the compound and polish, and everybody's pumped with how this is gonna look. And so from here, we're gonna finish off the rest of the car, then we're gonna jump to the coating step, get this thing coated, and just pray it makes it to where it needs to go within the 24 hours. So back to work. Now, with the polishing done, it was time to move on to the ceramic coating. And with this being an ultra special car, we wanted to use an ultra special coating. So Gtechniq North America was kind enough to send out a bottle of Crystal Serum Ultra, their top of the line, professional only installed ceramic coating. And with me having a bit of experience with it, I thought I could handle the job. So we applied the CSU to several different applicators and began coating the car after doing a panel wipe step. We had to quickly work because not only did we have a little bit of warmth, but we also had some humidity, so we had to work faster than we would do normally here being in Idaho. After a quick wipe off and a once over with an Eagle Edgeless 500, we were left with an insanely glossy finish that had a lot of depth to it. Honestly, we had no idea that this car was this blue before the wash, so we were all pleasantly surprised. All right, so is this my best work?
Yes.
I think it's up there, right?
Yes, it is your best, your finest hour is in this car right now.
Give it literally finest hour.
Yeah, because that's as long as it took.
Yeah, so we did a speed detail on this, and surprisingly, it turned out pretty good. We did a quick 50-50 on the hood. The transformation there with the pad combo was absolutely fantastic. Everybody was in on this, and so it was a full team effort, but fortunately, we were able to get this all cleaned up. There are some things that we didn't bring with us, so we couldn't address really the tires really on camera, or really anything else, but the wheels are clean, which is great. I rarely ever do that.
Okay. Well, I feel very.
It's a step in the right direction for myself as a detailer, and I'm really excited for the coating as well. So we did a quick coating with Crystal Serum Ultra on here, and I think it added some more gloss. It's gonna add some protection here, and who knows what's next for this car. Actually, you know what's next for this car.
I know exactly what's next for this car. I think we should go in the parking lot and do some donuts. How about that?
No. That's like literally the opposite of what I would say to do.
We're gonna go do some donuts in this car. This car doesn't run, so we're not gonna do.
Okay, we'll let the coating cure, and yeah, we could push.
We can push
the donuts around. Anyways, so this has been a very fun video. Freddie, thanks for having us out here.
Dude,
we're really
thank you so much.
Happy to be here in the sunshine state of Florida, catching those beautiful sun rays, getting a tan, and of course enjoying all the good company. So as always, if you guys enjoyed this video and want to see more PRC content, make sure to give us a big thumbs up, subscribe down below for more, and stay tuned for more videos right here at the Rad Company. See ya.
That was a good call to action.
Thanks.
Yeah.